You know that feeling when you walk into a room and instead of the usual quiet, you're greeted by, let's say, the aroma of discovery left by your new furry roommate? And the culprit himself is sitting nearby with the most innocent look on his face, like nothing happened. If you're nodding right now, clutching a rag and a bottle of Miracle Cleaner, welcome to the club. This isn't a disaster. It's just the first lesson in feline etiquette, and we're going to figure it out together. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a topic that once turned my home into something resembling a sapper's training ground. Litter training isn't just about keeping your house clean. It's the foundation of trust and understanding between you and that tiny creature who just arrived in this huge, scary world. And you know what I've learned over years of living with cats? There's no universal magic solution, but there is a clear strategy, patience, and understanding of cat psychology. Today we'll break down the 3 most common situations owners face, and I'll give you step-by-step instructions tested on my very own minefield. Let's start with the best-case scenario. When you get a kitten from a responsible breeder, around 3 months old or older, what's your advantage? The mom cat has already done most of the work. The little one already understands business needs to be done in a special place and covered up. Your job is not to mess that up. Imagine you've just moved into a new apartment. Even if you know where the bathroom is, you'd still need someone to point it out on the first day, right? Same with a kitten. Step 1. Place the litter box in a quiet but accessible spot, not next to a noisy washing machine. Step 2. This is crucial. Ask the breeder ahead of time what brand of litter they used. For a kitten, the smell of familiar litter is like the smell of home. It says, everything's okay, I'm safe. Step 3. For the first few days, limit their space to 1 room, so they don't have to race across the whole apartment like an Olympic sprinter when nature calls. And most importantly, when they go where they're supposed to, celebrate, praise them, pet them, give them a treat. Positive reinforcement works way better than any punishment for cats. But what do you do if you get a tiny one separated from mom too early? That requires a whole different approach. So scenario 2, the little paratrooper. These are kittens younger than 3 months. They're like 2-year-old kids. They only realize they need to go when the process has already started. Bladder control, non-existent. And they haven't had time to learn digging skills from mom. This is the situation where I, as a breeder, turn into a sapper every few months. My advice, take a deep breath and accept the game rules. The golden rule of isolation. Don't let the little one roam the whole apartment. Their world right now is a playpen, a large box, or a small room with a bed, food bowls, and the litter box. The box should always be in direct line of sight. Choosing the box. Forget high sides and grates. You need a shallow one, almost like a tray, so the kitten can easily step in and out. The scheduled sit routine. You'll laugh, but at first you'll basically have to stand guard. Put them in the box right after they wake up. Put them in after eating. Put them in after a wild play session. Gently stir the litter with your finger or their paw. Yes, it's monotonous. Yes, I do this hundreds of times a month. But this is how a kitten's brain forms the connection. Oh, I need to pee. I see a box with sand. I should sit there. Cleanliness. Clean up immediately. Kittens are obsessively clean. If there's already a deposit in the box, they might not go in there a second time. My rule, the only thing cleaner than the litter box should be a surgical table. And here's the most important part, no aggression. If you find a puddle and the kitten is already asleep in another corner, shoving their nose in, it is useless. They simply won't understand what they're being punished for. They'll associate the punishment with you and the puddle, but not with the act of going. Just quietly clean it up and treat the spot with an enzymatic cleaner. But if we know the history of home-raised kittens, what about those we pick up from the street? That's a whole different bundle of habits and fears. This is the advanced level. A street kitten is used to food being hard to find, and the bathroom is any patch of dirt. Here we have two main tasks, health and retraining. Step 0, mandatory. The vet, immediately. Parasites, infections, cystitis. All of this can mess with their control or cause pain when urinating. If it hurts to pee in the box, the kitten will pee on the sofa. It's soft and doesn't hurt. Choosing the litter. It's trial and error. Street kittens often like what feels like sand, fine silica gel, or quartz litter. You can try a trick. Put regular litter in the box and a thin layer of clean sand on top. Then gradually reduce the sand until the kitten gets used to the litter. The war on smell. Regular bleach or soap doesn't remove the cat smell. To them, that smell says my home. We need to erase that marker. Only enzymatic cleaners work. They break down the biological compounds and the kitten stops understanding why they used to go there. Stress management. Imagine what they've been through. Cold, hunger, and suddenly a huge house with strange noises. A pheromone diffuser like Fellaway can be a real lifesaver. It fills the room with the scent of safety. Such a pet needs 100 times more love and patience. They're not being stubborn. They're surviving and learning to trust you. So, we've covered 3 types of offenders. But there are universal laws that apply to all cats without exception. The laws of hygiene and geography. Let's talk about the magic of numbers and placement. The N+1 rule. There should be more boxes than cats. If you have 1 cat, you need 2 boxes, preferably on different levels if you have a 2-story house. Cats don't like to go where they eat, and they don't always want to run upstairs when nature calls downstairs. It's cheaper than buying a new couch. Size matters. The box should be 1.5 times the length of your cat from nose to tail base. They need room to dig around and turn around. A box that's too small for a growing kitten guarantees misses, simply because they can't aim properly. Location, location, location. Don't put the box in a high-traffic hallway or right next to the food bowls. Imagine if your toilet was in the middle of your kitchen with no door. Cats are big introverts. They need a quiet corner with escape routes where no one can ambush them. Follow these rules, and you'll eliminate 90% of the reasons a cat might start looking for alternatives to the box. You know, the main thing I've learned from years working on my own minefield? Behind every puddle or pile isn't a desire to annoy you, but simply confusion, fear, or physical discomfort. The kitten isn't being fussy. They're adapting to your world, which is 100 times bigger and more complex than the one they knew. Yes, this period can feel endless, especially when you find a surprise at 2 a.m., but it will pass. It will pass faster the calmer and more patient you are. Friends, now let's help each other out. Share your experiences in the comments. Which litter won over your street rebel? Which funny or not so funny story sticks in your memory? Your stories are invaluable support for those just starting this journey. Remember, a rolling stone gathers no moss, but a sitting cat might need a litter box nearby. Hit that like button if you want more helpful and warm advice about our beloved pets. See you next time. Take care of yourselves and your furry little sappers.